Hello again, and welcome to the 6th episode of Check It Out, the Carnegie-Stout Library's Adult Services podcast. Today's episode, as usual, will feature a bit of rambling from me, Becky, as well as Sarah and Amy, and they also share a little bit about EBSCO, one of the databases that the Carnegie-Stout Library subscribes to. The big, super exciting part of this episode is Michael May's interview with Heather Gudenkauf. She has a new book that will be released on May 12th called This Is How I Lied, and she will talk to us a little bit about that, as well as what she has been reading and enjoying lately.
Hey, Amy, may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you, too.
Thank you.
These are not the droids you are looking for.
It's a little bit weird. We're recording this before May the 4th, and probably everyone listening will be hearing this after May the 4th, but, I mean, we got to acknowledge it, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, I admit I will probably spend most of May the 4th watching all the Star Wars movies that I am sure will be on Disney Plus by then. So, hey, why not?
Maybe they'll release some of those,
the
news.
prequels.
I don't know. Maybe they're better.
I don't think
you remember.
So.
I don't know.
I don't think those hold up very well. But to each their own. There are probably some people that love those, and
probably
great. More power to you, people. So what else you been doing, Sarah?
I have been
keep yourself entertained.
I've been in the garden a whole bunch every day that it hasn't been raining, which is really, really relaxing and nice if you don't mind getting like so dirty. But as far as like books and stuff, I've been rereading An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good by Helen Thurston. It's a Swedish book of short stories about an old lady in her like 80s or 90s, depending on which story you're reading, who solves her problems by murdering people. And it is both super dark and grim and like crazy. Like, it just makes me happy. This nice old lady who kills people.
I find that hilarious for some reason. I don't know why.
It's like reverse Miss Marple, I guess. I don't know. I loved Miss Marple when I was a kid. So
yeah, I actually broke out of my cozy mystery streak and I read a historical romance last night, and I kind of remember why I don't read historical romances, because I'm a complete and total sap, and I think I cried through like the last 8 chapters of it. So I cried everything. So it's probably not super sad, but it's just me. And then
which one
I also watched a new, it's an advanced reader's copy of it's called Beauty Tempts the Beast, and it's by Lorraine Heath. It's number 5 in a series of hers. So it's your typical like noble woman loses all of her money and tries to save her life and falls in love with a guy who she thinks is a commoner with a heart of gold, but he turns out to be the son of a duke, because that's what always happens in these stories. There's always somebody's always a nobleman somehow. But yeah, I did cry through the last like 8 chapters.
I will have to look for that one when it comes out.
Yeah. It's not, I mean, it's good. It was good. I enjoyed it. But then I don't know what I was doing to myself. I watched a new TV show called Council of Dads last night. And I don't really know what is with this trend of television shows that like rips your heart out. Like This Is Us and A Million Little Pieces. Is that what it's called? All these shows that I have really avoided because I know that they're going to make me cry every time. And I watched one last night, and I don't think I can watch any more of it because 2 episodes. And yeah, that was emotional enough for me. I'm going to go stick with my tried and true binge watching things like Psych and The Office and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, things that make me laugh.
That is reasonable. Although it can be really, really nice to just cry and get all the emotions out too.
That is true, because I feel pretty good today. So maybe it is because I had this emotional day yesterday, like reading a book and watching TV and crying at absolutely, fictional things. I'd rather cry at fictional things than true things, I think.
You've got to get it out. And yeah. How about you, Becky? what have you been listening to? Are you doing another audiobook?
Yes, I am still finishing my audiobook, the Michelle McNamara true crime book. Unfortunately, it had to be returned and there was a hold on it, so I will have to wait to finish it until it is returned, but that's okay. I also started listening to Ender's Game as an audiobook, which is something I had never read before, but my fiance Ben really recommended. It's been really good so far. It's kind of hard to picture these children warriors, especially when they're supposed to be 6 or 7 years old. But it's a really interesting read and a little out of my normal type of book, so it's been a lot of fun. I also am reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire for the 500th time, just sort of as a comfort thing right now, and it's been making me happy, along with watching the Harry Potter movies as well. But besides reading, I have also been working on some home improvement projects. We have been working a little bit outside, but our next project is to tackle painting possibly the upstairs hallway and master bedroom. Amy, did you want to tell us a little bit about one of the databases we subscribe to, EBSCO, that can help with some DIY home improvement?
I'm sure that like a lot of people who are working from home and have been home, and like you with your gardening, everybody's doing home improvement projects, and so I've been staring at my four walls for what feels like 10 years, and it's really only been like a month, and I've decided I really hate my wall color, so I think I'm going to repaint my walls.
I vote neon pink.
I don't know. That might be a little out there. All right, so speaking of home improvement projects, if you are thinking of doing something in your home, we actually have a database that's called EBSCO's Home Improvement Reference Center. So you can get access to that through our homepage, and when you click on it, you will have to log in with your library card, which is what I am doing right now. And you can choose whatever project you're working on. So if you're painting your house, if you're redoing your bathroom, if you have to fix your garbage disposal, stuff like that, you can click on there and it'll give you some videos and some interesting topics. I'm in the remodeling right now, and it honestly has stuff on there for like remodeling attics and basements and cigar lounges. Seriously, cigar lounges.
That's weird. You need one of those, Amy. I am
Everybody
browsing
needs a cigar lounge.
an article on, it's like a multi-page article on how to mow your lawn.
Really?
Like the correct angles and heights, and oh my goodness, it's detailed.
Interesting. You could also learn how to feng shui your house. So if you're feeling like, you need to do that, it tells you how to do that. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here. I'm impressed. Way more than I'm willing to tackle myself. I mean, I can paint a wall, but I'm not doing any of these other things. So there's a thing on home libraries, like floor to ceiling bookcases, hidden rooms.
Hidden rooms.
How
Now's
cool
the time.
is that?
So it seems like you have a lot of options to help you out with your home improvement projects, and you can access those at our website by going to research and then scrolling down to EBSCO. But now for something slightly more exciting, we have our interview with Heather Gudenkauf. She's going to tell us a little bit about her upcoming book and what she's reading at home right now.
Hi, this is Mike at Carnegie-Stout. I'm here with Heather Gudenkauf. Hi, Heather. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for taking some time to talk to the Check It Out podcast. We're excited to have you here. You have a new book coming out. This Is How I Lied. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. It's my 8th novel. So This Is How I Lied is the story of a 16-year-old Eve Knox, and it follows her last day on Earth and then the subsequent search for her killer. So 25 years ago, Eve's strange little sister Nola and Eve's best friend Maggie discover Eve's body in the caves near their neighborhood. And though there are many suspects in the case, it goes cold. And it isn't until decades later that a new clue emerges. And so 25 years later, best friend Maggie is now a police detective and 7 months pregnant. And she is still haunted, of course, by her best friend's death. And she volunteers to kind of look back into the case since the new evidence has emerged. And so as she hunts and looks, more and more clues to the case begin to emerge, and there's danger around every corner.
That sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to reading it. It was inspired by an Iowa location like your other novels?
Yes, it was. As you know, all my books are set in Iowa, and the fictional town in This Is How I Lied is called Grotto, and it's very loosely based, but definitely based on Maquoketa and the Maquoketa Caves. You know, I've lived in the area for over 25 years, and you know, I've really enjoyed the Maquoketa Caves, and I thought it would be a really great place to set the book and have some of the main scenes in the book take place in a cave system similar to Maquoketa. So it was a lot of fun to, you know, go back to the caves as kind of putting on my researcher hat and looking at it from that lens. And it definitely is the perfect location for a creepy crime to be taking place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fun to read your work because some of the settings you start to realize are really familiar, and it gives dimension to what you're reading.
Yeah, thank you. I really enjoy highlighting Iowa, and you know, it's really a beautiful landscape in my books.
Yeah, it is. Are you working on anything now?
Yeah, well, I just finished the first draft of my next project, and really can't say a whole lot about it because my books tend to change quite a bit as I go through the editing process. But I can say it's another thriller. It's set in a fictional town of Iowa, a farming community, and the story takes place in two time periods once again. So present day and about 27 years before. And I will say that there is a big snowstorm that the main characters are housebound, and most of the action takes place over a few days during this snowstorm.
That sounds really good.
Thank you.
What have you been reading lately?
Oh gosh, I have been reading a lot more lately, taking advantage of some of this extra time that I do have. I'm really fortunate to be able to read a lot of advanced reading copies of novels, upcoming novels from authors. So I've gotten a sneak peek at Stranger in the Lake, which is the new one by Kimberly Bell, a great thriller, very atmospheric and creepy. That's coming out in June. And then Sister Dear by Hannah Mary McKinnon, which I absolutely loved. It's comes out at the end of May, and again, you know, a thriller, a domestic thriller, families, and some unexpected twists. And I also got to read, and I'm so excited about this one, The Monsters We Make by a fellow author, Iowa author, Callie White Van Valley.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So she has a new one coming out in June, and it's a novel that takes place in the early 80s and focuses on a fictional account of the infamous Paperboy kidnappings that we all remember if we grew up in Iowa of the early 80s. It's a fictionalized account of a similar case, and it is really well done. It's very mysterious, suspenseful, and as someone who grew up, you know, in the age of the faces on the milk box, or the milk cartons, right? It really brought back a lot of memories for me. And I think all readers are going to really enjoy that, but especially with the Iowa connection. So be sure to look for that.
Well, thanks for that tip.
Yeah, yes. And then I've been rereading a great series, something quite a bit lighter than the thrillers I've been reading, but it's the Spellman Files series by Lisa Lutz. And there's about 7 or 8 of them, and they're just really funny and light, and just really enjoy those a lot. So I've been reading those as well.
Well, This Is How I Lied comes out on May 12th. Is that right?
It does. Yes. Very excited.
The Carnegie-Stout Library will have copies in print in ebook format and CD, and also digital audio that people can borrow. Have you listened to the audio?
I haven't had the chance to listen to the full audio of the book, but I know the narrator, Brittany Presley, who I've worked with before on other books, does a phenomenal job as a narrator, and I'm so excited that she also got to work on this project. So I'm really looking forward to listening to the full.
I might try the audio this time. I usually read your books in print, but the audio sounds kind of interesting. I might give that a try.
Yeah, and she really nails the character. She does a great job.
Yeah. It's the library may continue to be closed, possibly, unfortunately. But if people would like to check out our website, the books are in overdrive. You have made an arrangement though with River Lights Bookstore in Dubuque. You have a special offer going on there.
Well, yeah. So if anybody wants to pre-order the book from River Lights, I will personalize it, sign it for you, and they have their curbside pickup, or they can mail it to you as well for a media mail rate. And so I'm really excited to do that. We're also going to do a virtual launch event on May 12th, the evening of May 12th, through Zoom, and some more information will be available for that. But we'll do a talk, and authors Mary Kubica, Lisa Unger, and JT Ellison will be joining me for that fun event. And all New York Times bestselling authors, and we're just going to chat and have fun and just celebrate books and reading.
We really are lucky to have River Light Bookstore. They've been such great supporters of Carnegie-Stout Library, and we really hope that they are keeping well and doing a good job there. The number for River Lights is 563-556-4391, and they have a website, riverlights.indielight. It's INDIELITE.org. So I might try to make that. You're on social media. Where can readers and fans find you there?
Sure. I'm on Facebook at Heather Gudenkauf Books, and on Twitter at HGudenkauf, and Instagram at Heather Gudenkauf. And you can visit me at my website at heathergudenkauf.com and sign up for my newsletter. I do a lot of fun giveaways on social media and just really love interacting with fellow book lovers. So I really enjoy that. So be sure to drop me a note or a line there.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It was nice talking to you.
It's great talking to you too, Michael. And we can't wait for the library to open back up again and see everybody, and just to be able to get through the stacks of books again. So thank you. We're looking forward to that.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations on This Is How I Lied. And we have the ebooks, and hopefully when we reopen soon, we'll have the print ready to go for everyone.
Thanks so much, Heather. We really appreciate you taking the time to be a special guest on our podcast. Remember, if you would like to submit what you are reading, watching, or listening to, submit a short audio file and send it to yourlibrarian at dubuque.lib.ia.us, and we will feature it on a future episode of our podcast. A big thank you goes out to Michael May for taking the time to interview Heather Gudenkauf. As always, we would like to thank Ben Eagle for recording and performing the music for our podcast. We hope you'll join us next time for Check It Out, the Adult Services podcast from Carnegie-Stout Public Library.